oil prices at their highest level since year 2008. Obviously, the situation is now exacerbated by Libya, which produces at least 1.6 million barrels per day. Are we now moving in the danger zone?
I think that prices react to this news coming out of Libya. In fact, there hasn't been any reports about supply disruptions yet, but it's the fear that violence may spread to other countries of the region, may impact other oil-producing nations. Libya alone cannot explain this move, since it only produces 1.6 million, whilst we have spare capacities of up to 6 million. But if 2 or 3 other countries in the size of Libya will be impacted, then this spare capacity will be eaten up, and supply disruptions are possible in this event at least.
Are we likely to see countries in the OECD release inventory stock? We're already hearing that IEA members are talking about the need to release stocks to cover the shortfall. Are we likely to see supply disruptions?
Yes, in that case, it's very likely that some emergency stocks will be released if there is a real supply shortage. So far, there hasn't been any shortage yet. Prices have risen to levels where it will have some impact on demand, and the fear is further increases may lead to a rapid slowdown of oil demand. That's also a reason why OPEC will not stand aside if prices continue to soar. In that case, OPEC is likely to increase output. There will be an informal meeting today at the stance of an oil summit in Riyadh. Maybe we get some comments regarding future OPEC action.
Talking about Riyadh, Carsten, is the role of Saudi Arabia here. It's already reported that Saudi Arabia is prepared to pump more oil because definitely they have spare capacity.
Yeah, sure. If Saudi Arabia is not impacted by the turmoil, then we still have a quite comfortable situation, with Saudi Arabia having around about 4 million barrels of spare capacity. There's a lot of leeway to increase output if necessary, and Saudi Arabia is not happy with oil prices well above 100. So the possibility of production hikes from that side should put a brake on a further increase of oil prices, unless Saudi Arabia is not impacted by the turmoil.
Obviously, I mean, whenever we see the oil price rise, people question whether or not speculators are also at play. What's happening on the markets, just by way of the direction that investors see oil prices going and what we're likely to see on future contracts?
What we saw in recent 2 days is a massive increase, in particular in WTI prices, and the spread between the Brent and WTI narrowed to $10 a barrel from 16 last week, which could be related to a short covering in the WTI ahead of today's contract rollover. So speculators or financial investors certainly play a certain role in the recent increase in oil prices, but much of the increase is related to a risk premium related to the turmoil in Northern Africa and the Middle East.
Obviously, we've seen the price breach the $100 a barrel mark. It's even in the region of 108. Where do you think oil prices could go within the first quarter of 2011?
Much will depend on how the situation in Northern Africa and Middle East will develop further. If violence spreads further to other oil-producing nations, then we could see prices above $110 a barrel. Much will depend then on the reaction of OPEC. Will they increase output? Then prices should stabilize there. If not, then prices could go even higher.
Okay, macroeconomic question, Carsten. The concern with higher oil prices is it's going to weaken the trade balances, particularly for industrialized nations. It's going to raise global inflation, and it's going to impact on global recovery. How serious are the threats?
There's a big risk that continued rise in oil prices will have impact on economic growth, in particular in OECD countries where the recovery is still quite fragile. This was also a warning of the International Energy Agency yesterday. The question is how central banks will react. If they consider this as a one-off factor, then they will not hike interest rates. Otherwise, we could further headwinds from that side as well.